Okay, we're back for a continuation of the dailies. Um, you can't quite make it out of here, but we have a Nepa Hut. We bought that in 2014 for 13,600 pesos, and we're still using it today. It's the only thing made out of bamboo we've ever had that lasted. He's wetting it down good. And also, if he wets it down, it's easier to run that flat shovel across there and dig on it. Okay, this is Nane again. You don't see his other brother, boy, his name's Lucas, in the videos, though he works every day. He wanted to learn how to weld, and on his own money, he went to welding school. Had to ride a provincial bus to get there, but they only had like one welding machine for every 8 or 10 people, so the amount of time he got to actually practice was next to nothing. And he said, I can get a job welding in Dubai, but I have to have 2 years experience. He says, what can I do? I says, well, we'll make some stuff out of metal and you weld on it. And so we decided to make those ornamental grills. So I helped him through the first day and a half. This is one of our bending jigs. These are 2-inch Schedule 80 pipe, and we have a 2 ball bearings on a piece 1.5-inch galvanized pipe, of machined piece on the end. And there's a whole bunch of different plates, and they're double-sided. This here was a stirrup for a beam. I'm not sure what beam it is, one of the smaller ones. And then this is an extension we added out to make something that was really long one time. Anyway, the brother Boy, this is one of his brothers, Nane, and Boy at the foreman is another one of his brothers. And we have had his brother Biani and his brother Jojo and one more brother that only worked for about 6 months. Anyway, he's, I guess he's knocking out these stirrups over here. And the way they're laying, you can't really tell. But these stirrups have what they call 135-degree bends at the end of the bars. We'll probably see one sometime, and I'll forget to tell you to take notice of it. But they don't just bend 90 and be parallel to where they started. They bend right on around. So you have 2 ears hanging in. And that gives you what's called anchorage, so that you can't have the stirrup slip out, because you don't have 3 inches of concrete on it to keep it from going away. This way it has to rip out a big chunk of concrete, and plus it's wrapped around the vertical bars, so it'd have to pull the concrete right through those vertical bars. These are the other things he's making today, I guess, is these this is just another thing that has to get pressed into the concrete before the foundation can give away altogether. And these are the white things are intermediate height columns. That's the vertical bars. 8 of them to the 8 of them per column. Columns are 10 inches by 10 inches. And he's bending some more. You might can make out the 135-degree corners, one going that way and one coming this way. But that's where they need to be on everything, every stirrup. It's on the recommended building procedures of the Philippines. It's as close as you get to what do you call it? Building regulations. Their suggestions. What they do is they use their water level and get the corner points, and then they pour diagonals, or pull diagonals, and that just by walking by you take a stick and put a Sharpie mark on it near the end over here, and then you walk by and you can see how the Sharpie compares to the string, and you know where you got to take it away. And we've been doing that pretty much on everything. This dried up, cracked up stuff here, that's what our dirt looks like. Hard pan in North Carolina is nothing compared to this. And you can see that this is how much they're having to lower that corner. from just cleaned up. Sometimes they do it in stages like this, and sometimes they just do it straight down and then do a little cleanup dig. They're supposed to be using this wheelbarrow. Well, there's two of those wheelbarrows. One of them decided fatigued where the wheel bolt's on, and they didn't know how to patch it. And I tried to explain to them, and I said, "Look, I'm tired of trying to explain it. Just go buy another one." So we bought the second one, and then they got the emails out and fixed the first one. So I have two now. So the reason we have two mixers, we bought the second mixer when we started pouring floor slabs. You can't stop on a floor slab because you'll have a cold joint, and that's just like two pieces of concrete. And there'll be a really ragged edge, so this when it's more prone to breaking, and if it does, it's prone to busting chunks out of it because it gets a hold of the other one and slips on by it. So we bought a second mixer, and we run two of them one time, I think. But mostly we run one. We make sure they're both operational before we start, but we only run one during the pour. And we've done up to 84 bags with a single mixer running. That's bags of Portland cement to be 2 times that in sand and 3 times that in the rock, in the gravel. It's a 1, 2, 3 mix. If it was properly wet down and cured, it makes around 8,000 psi concrete. The way we do it, we get around 5,000 psi. But anything above 4,000 is passes my specs, so we're well on the way to being pretty good on that. It looks like he's dug a hole there. It looks like a trench, but really this is almost level, and he's only digging down a little bit right here. You can see he's almost nothing over there. And we have a different piece of plastic up here for working underneath of. I don't mind him standing under a piece of shade if it doesn't take all day to rig it. More leveling. Oh, something new. Okay, this is a auxiliary bathroom. It's a general purpose bathroom for the living floor of the house, which is the ground floor. The second floor is not really rooms. It's a complicated spiral looking spline, I guess you'd call it, that holds that big roof slab and the spider beam, just so that if it shakes in an earthquake, we won't lose any walls up there. So there's a bunch of offsets and reinforcement to it. What do they call those? Buttresses? I don't know. There's another name for them. They used to use them when they built cathedrals, but I can't remember what. These rebars are drilled into the floor about, I told them 1.5 inches because I know that the other rebar is 1.5 inches down, and they'll be looking to stop when they hit it. If I told them 4 inches, they'd try to drill right through that rebar in the floor. I don't want to cut that rebar in two. It's in the floor. And I don't want to wreck carbide bits in the concrete drill. So I told them 1.5 inches. All that does is keep them from sliding around when they dump the concrete in. And it gives you a bit of a dowel pin in an earthquake to keep the walls from sliding across the floor. And these are also drilled into the walls. We made this bathroom, I don't know, 1.5 foot longer than the original plan. So that puts the electric outlet in the bathroom. So this is actually in the shower. So they're going to put a phenolic board box around that, and we'll put that those switches will be outside of the actual bathroom. Like over here, they're outside of the bathroom. And then this goes through to the other side of the wall. We'll have another electrical box over there with outlets and switches and stuff. We have a conflict here because I stuck this pipe in before the walls because I was there. All these are pipes that are coming out of the floor. They all go someplace. That's not loose pipe sitting on the floor. Every pipe has got a Y clean-out plug on every, basically, hard to get to place. Almost everything on the system. There's probably 50 of them. So there will be the same 3 like here will go down here. It's symmetrical. And if at some future date we want to drill a hole in a wall, we know where this first bar is. We also know where the seams of the forms were, which gives us we know that where the bolt holes then were in the forms. We know where the rebars weren't, so we can bolt something through a wall or to a wall without hitting rebar. We can draw Sharpie marks on the wall for the vertical and horizontal bars anywhere in the house, and it's just because we use these notched boards, and it's not in the picture right now. It's a board with the edge notched where the bars go. We use them on flat floors, 100 and 192 it over it, and then you knock them down flat and pull them out endwise. I was worried they couldn't get them out, but since they didn't know it was supposed to be a problem, there's never been a problem. They just two guys pick it up and they slide it out. But all our rebars tied, fairly neat because we're using these notch boards, and it lets us cut all the stuff ahead of time. Oh, this is this and back here too. When they get to this pour, they'll put some stack up some hollow blocks just for spacer, and then they'll put some phenolic board around the outside. That's the thickness of the wall. So when they pull the forms down, they can bust out those hollow blocks, and that gives us niches in the wall for like a medicine cabinet. Except we're going to put glass shelves, and the back of it's going to be a 8 by 8 by 3 inch thick glass block, and we're going to hang those through the wall surface a little bit, just so they have an accent line around them. We're not going to try to set them flush. We're going to set them back into the room, and that gives us a 5 inch wide shelf on this wall thickness. And then the glass slats will be the tempered glass they use for I think they call them jalousie windows. They're trying to make sure I got at least one good picture of the pipes running right through where the forms have to go. So the message I'm sending is saw the pipes off down here, but not right next to the fitting. Come out 3, 4, 5 inches, whatever you want to. Saw them off, toss them over there and against the wall, pour the first pour, and then put a couple on that and shove it back together. You don't have to glue it if you don't want to, but just put the coupling so we know where those pipes are. Because one is a shower drain, this is a toilet, and this is for a vanity sink, and this is a clean out to something, I don't know what. See, when you have two together down here, one of them is the actual pipe, and the other is a clean out, so you can put a snake down in there. So it's not really as many drain lines as what it looks like in these pictures. Oh, you notice that they tie every joint on rebar over here. There'd be 4 pieces of wire, where they do that. That's a max cell angle grinder. I think they're made in Germany, but they sell them pretty much all over the Philippines. And the advertising literature at all the stores and all the boxes says every part for this tool is available in the Philippines. So if you lose a bearing or a gear or a switch, you go to any store that sells them and tell them what parts you need, and they'll show you a card on your computer with the numbers on it and with the part number. But you can, and I've bought 1 or 2 little things, but not much. These pieces that go up here to hold your disc, if you take that off and put a screw on disc on the threaded part, those tend to get lost. Fortunately, you can buy them. At least you can buy them from Maxell. This is showing us they got another conflict with a light switch in the middle of a wall, and we'll put 4 inches of wood across there that we can knock out later. Turns out those hollow blocks we use for the placeholders for the wall niches, they slid right out. I bought enough blocks to just to knock them all out with a hammer, but it turns out that they've taken them right out. And this guy somehow levitated horizontal. He's putting stirrups on. That ought to be enough rebar to hold up a solar panel, don't you think? Okay, and that's the end of the dailies as of January 14th. And They haven't started the 15th yet. They'll start a couple hours. They'll be on the 15th over there. It's almost 2 o'clock here, so that means it's almost 3 o'clock there. And about 7:30 or 8, they'll be wanting to talk to Aurora. Okay. And everybody have a nice day, and thanks for watching. I'm not going to say click like and subscribe. If I get too many subscribers, which is not going to be a problem, but if I did, and I'll have to ask some of you to unsubscribe. The deal is, if I have under 1,000 subscribers and under a certain number of watch hours a month, maybe it's like 400 or something, then they will not put ads on this channel, and you can watch these crappy videos of mine without having to deal with ads. And I don't particularly like ads, and it's only a thing on paper how many subscribers you have, and they do a nice job on analytics. I'm going to check them sometime and see what they have to say. I looked at it years ago, or not years ago, months ago. In any event, they show you all kinds of trends and stuff. I'm just too old and stubborn to change what I do. There's other people that do these video logs on house building. I just try to show you how we do it. We haven't had anything really to back up on, say we'll never do it that way again. Some things we found an easier way, but there's nothing really wrong with the way we're doing it, say. And plus, this may be one of the strongest houses ever been built in the Philippines. Anytime you have 20 columns, like 30 by 32 inches, holding the roof up, it's a pretty stout building, and it all fits together like a puzzle. The puzzle is so we can pour like 25 feet of a wall, and it fits into 2 columns into a 2-inch deep recess. Mortise and tenon kind of joinery, and every wall has got a 24-inch wide, 18-inch thick beam underneath of it. On the second level, the beams are upright rather than flat, and they're 24 inches high, 14 inches wide. Anyway, I'll leave Boyd to what he's doing. I'm not sure that he's not using one of those little pieces of bent rebar to twist those ties. He's got the spinner kind, with the ball bearing in it. They've used those for 4 or 5 years. And we sent some of the ones you just pull them straight out, like those old push-pull hand drills. Pull the handle one time, push about 7 twists in it, and you just bend it over to take to get the ears down and to take the hook out. I thought they were really cute, so I sent them 7 of them. I haven't seen anybody use one yet, but I've sent them. Okay. Say a little prayer for all the sick people in the world. We just had one on the crew lose his wife, so that's kind of close to home. There's 3 or 4 in the housing development across the street that we knew, too. Okay, bye.